Hey friends, I surely missed you. I'm Ola Янкова, a senior teacher in Green Forest, with our monthly online English lesson. Today we're going to talk about giving advice and recommendations. This lesson will last about 30 minutes, and of course, it is provided to you by Green Forest in our interactive platform. What you need to do is click on the link below, open our today's lesson in a new tab, and then watch the video and follow my instructions. We'll complete some tasks and discuss a couple of grammar points connected with ways to give advice and recommendations. But before we get started, make sure you have subscribed to our channel and hit the bell icon to receive a notification about our next video on time. Today, we're going to talk about quite a few structures that help us give advice and recommendations. This lesson is for students of B2 and C1 level. The lesson will consist of 3 interactive tasks and a short video. We'll start off with the task, and then I'll give you some comments and explanations on the structures, after which we'll complete 2 more tasks to practice more. Each task we will complete during this class has 3 buttons at the end: check, show answers, reset. When you press check button, you will see if your answers are right or wrong. When you press show answers button, you will see the correct answers. Press it again to go back to your answers. When you press reset button, all your answers will disappear and you will be able to do the task once again. I hope you're ready for task 1. Task 1. In this task, we've got a list of structures that we can use to give advice and recommendations, and you know most of them. In most of these structures, we need to choose a verb form to use. So please, look through the list and choose the correct verb form. Check yourself once you're done. You have about 5-6 minutes for the task. Got everything right? I hope you did. Now let's look at these structures together again and figure out what they are and how we use them. Are you ready to find out something new? Let's go then. First of all, there are some general phrases I'd like to pay your attention to. It's a must, a great way to recommend something. Basically means do it, watch it, read it, whatever you talk about. This phrase has got a second option when you actually use a verb, but in this case we don't need article a. It's must do, must have, must watch, must visit, etc. We also can talk about something using some phrases like good value for money, underrated, overpriced, and basically any other adjective, either positive or negative, that will express your opinion about someone or something. Make sure you do or don't do something. This is an imperative form of the verb, which is used to give commands. But in this case, make sure makes it sound like a recommendation rather than an order. Of course, conditional too. If I were you, I'd listen to the teacher. This is an all-time classic of giving advice. Add bare infinitive after would. Why don't you also takes the bare infinitive, since it's basically present simple sentence that gives us a recommendation. For example, why don't we talk about gerunds? Sure, let us. The next group of phrases is used with gerund because it follows prepositions here. Watch out for, be careful with, be wary of, how about. Pay attention, when we talk about wary of, the verb doesn't follow preposition directly, so why verb ing? In this sentence, you see a structure which is used to emphasize something, in this case, one thing to be wary of. But if we go back to the simple sentence without emphasized part, it would be wary of spending too much money, for example. So when we restructure it, the verb form remains the same. One thing to be wary of is spending too much money. One more interesting phrase in this group is how about, because there are two ways to structure the sentence using verb ing or a regular sentence. By the way, is there any difference between how about and what about? Sure, how about suggests an idea, while what about is used to object to the idea because of some prior arrangements or circumstances. Pause my explanations and watch a mini video below to see the difference. It's only about 50 seconds long.
What about a surprise party for Dad? What about his girlfriend? She can't keep a secret to save her life. Look, how about some extreme emotion as a present for him? Skydiving?
What about his fear of heights?
Right. How about a weekend getaway?
What about his dogs? He can't leave them alone for a long time.
How about we look after them?
Sounds like a plan. Use how about to suggest an idea or a plan.
Use what about to remind of previous arrangements or introduce an objection to a plan.
Going back to gerunds, you will also go for verb ing with I suggest, which is a verb that is usually followed by gerund. However, if you want to add an object, go for a bare infinitive instead. For example, I suggest becoming a vegetarian, but I suggest that he become a vegetarian. That is optional in such sentences. Another tricky verb ing phrase is with try. You might remember that try may be followed either by to verb or verb ing with difference in meaning. If we use to verb, we talk about something vital, something which is hard to do, but it's our aim. However, when we go for a recommendation, basically say that a person should try something and see if it works, we'll opt for verb ing. And this is our case. To make this sound a bit more polite, we use modal verb could over here. Another phrase that uses modal to sound more polite is might want. And I'm sure you remember that want is followed by an infinitive. This is exactly the reason why we use it in a cleft sentence. What you want is to have some rest, for example. By the way, nouns are also followed by an infinitive, so don't miss the chance to get one more correct answer. Going back to cleft sentences, there are actually two of them here. So, what you want is to have some rest, for example. If we make this sentence a bit less emphatic, we'll say, you want to have some rest. So when we restructure the sentence, we'll stick to the same verb form, to verb. Have you found the second clef sentence yet? Of course, it's what I would do. However, in this sentence, we'll use the bare infinitive, not to verb. The reason is exactly the same. After would, we use bare infinitive, and it's the would that our verb is connected with, even though it's moved to a different part of the sentence. Compare. I would see a doctor. What I would do is see a doctor. I know it's a lot of information, but I'm sure that you're familiar with most of these structures and I managed to refresh your memory about them. How about checking out how much you remembered? Task 2 will help us with that. Task 2. In this task, we've got 10 sentences that give advice or recommendations of some kind. All of them are missing corresponding verb forms. Please open the brackets and complete the sentences. Check yourselves once you're done. You have about 7 minutes for this task. Let's check out number 6. Did you use do in the first gap? I hope you did, because it's a bare infinitive that follows the modal verb should, the most common way to give advice. What about sentence 3? Buy or buying? Of course buy, because we have an object in the sentence, you. How could we change the sentence to use verb ing? Get rid of you. I suggest buying a Tesla. Great job. Let's move on to our final task for today. Task 3. In this task, we've got 10 sentences, all of which have a mistake of some kind. Check out the sentences and correct the mistakes. You have 8 minutes for the task. Don't check yourselves once you're done. Now, before we click check, tell me which sentence has two possible answers. It's sentence 4. We can say, how about going, or how about we go. Now, there was a tricky mistake in sentence 1 as well. There is no verb here to use in the correct form. Actually, there is no verb at all in the sentence. When we have emphatic structures like that, we connect two parts with the verb be. That's exactly what's missing from sentence 1, is. If you notice this mistake, good for you. Now press check and see if all your other answers are correct. And we're done for today. You were amazing. I sure hope you enjoyed today's lesson as well as learned something new. If the answer is yes, like and subscription to our channel are a must. Write what you think of the lesson in the comments below and tell us if there are any other topics you'd like to discuss. Don't forget to check out all the previous online lessons from Green Forest. There are quite a few really great topics there. And remember that this short lesson is just a small part of all the English knowledge you can get with our interactive coursebook Notes by Green Forest during online lessons in Green Forest School of English. You can find all the details in the comment pinned below. Take care and see you guys.